I'll reveal the surprising answer in exactly 3 minutes, along with the 4 worst foods you must avoid if you hope to lose weight and be beach ready ever again. First, it's critical you understand why nobody, not one single expert, has ever told you the shocking truth about calories and hidden fat storage that I'm sharing with you today. I bet this is far from the first time that you've ever heard a confusing or contradictory diet message. Carbs are bad, then carbs are good, now carbs are bad again? Fat was bad, fat is good. Now certain doctors are saying that fat is bad again. The worst part is, fat, carbs, calories, these are all only a few of the dozens of factors that affect your weight, waistline, body fat percentages, or dress sizes. When do you eat? What do you eat? And how frequently do you eat? Meal size, portions, protein, macronutrients, micronutrients, the list is endless. And we haven't even gotten into exercises yet. High intensity, low intensity, heavy weights, light weights, orange zone, red zone. It feels like there's at least another 50 things for you to consider, not even considering how hard it is to actually do any of this on a weekly basis. Whether it's diet or exercise, every expert seems to be saying something different, and it's pretty much impossible to know who to trust or believe, especially when none of this supposedly perfect advice has ever worked. In a moment, I'm going to show you why everything you've been told about losing weight is dead wrong. Why every single diet and workout program you've ever tried was destined to fail. Because there's a sneaky, stubborn fat hormone that has slammed the brakes on your body's metabolism, making it nearly impossible to lose those inches, even if you eat perfectly and work out for hours each day. Some pretty reliable numbers tell us that at least 50% of all Americans suffer from this hidden condition. That's at least 160 million Americans alone suffering from this problem. And the thing is, almost nobody knows that they have it. No expert has ever told you about this before because it flies in the face of the 99% of the weight loss advice promoted on TV, magazines, even the magazines that I've been in, or advertisers that sell on Facebook. The good news is, once you get this one stubborn fat hormone under control, you can almost immediately rev up your ability to burn fat and drop 1, 2, even 4 sizes faster than you ever dreamed possible. The process is stunningly simple, yet what I love is that it's not insultingly simple, not like so much of the so-called weight loss advice out there, because I don't know about you, but I might want to punch the next person who tells me the secret to losing weight is to simply just burn more than you consume. In other words, eat less and work out more. Forgive the sarcasm, it's tempting to be like, oh my God, wow, really, that's it? I can't believe I did not think of that myself. Yet, if you're like most people, you just bite your tongue. Because we're often so embarrassed by our extra weight, we think we don't deserve to fight back or stand up for ourselves. So we just take it and let the pain and shame quietly eat away. You and I both know darn well, if it were really that easy, a whole lot more people would be skinny right now. But the painful reality is, people aren't getting skinnier, they're getting heavier, rounder, and more dangerously overweight, in epic proportions faster than at any point in human history. In fact, the WHO just reported that as of the end of last year, over 1.9 billion adults were overweight and 600 million were obese. Sadly, tens of millions of those numbers are children, including 42 million under 5 years old. Why is that? Why are people gaining weight at record rates, despite the fact that there are more diets, programs, apps, and tools for losing weight than ever before? Hi, my name is Brandon Larkham, and I'm one of the top fitness trainers in the world. I've been featured on a wide range of major TV and news outlets and magazines, and even smaller publications like Healthy Moms magazine, with features focused on helping women shed those excess pounds. I made this video for you today because I've seen firsthand just how unfair mainstream advice around the weight loss world can be, and why you've essentially been playing a rigged game, one you can't win. That is, until today, until recent science. I'm also no stranger to my own personal adversity. I had to undergo a life-threatening cranial surgery at the age of 2, and doctors insisted that I would never play any sports likely to lead to further head injury. Instead, my parents rolled me in figure skating classes, and this was a sport on the ice where I felt at home, which allowed me to challenge myself, yet was free of the flying pucks of hockey in northern Minnesota. By age 12, I left my Minnesota family and moved to live solo with my coaches in Tampa, Florida, and focused full-time on my skating career. And in 2001, I won the Junior Nationals Pairs Figure Skating Championship title and trained as a member of Team USA and was awarded a slot on the international figure skating team. It was an amazing time of my life, the highest point. Yet, just 2 years later, I was hit with yet another massive setback. This time in 2003, I shattered my knee and ended my competitive career. I was devastated and told that I would never skate again by doctors. Did I quit? Hell no. Instead, I was determined to prove them wrong. I began creating a fitness rehabilitation regimen for myself while attending the University of Michigan, and this really opened my eyes to the joy of helping others. Because as a competitive athlete, I could only focus on myself. But as a coach, I could help many, many more people and touch their lives, and that felt amazing. I also saw how some people just seem to get body fat lowering results much more rapidly than others, even with the same exact amount of exercise and calorie intake. Frankly, that puzzled me because it flew in the face of everything that I had learned about the sciences of fat loss. And as I worked with more and more individuals, including a professional trainer after developing the protocol, the wide gap in metabolism speeds between certain people really began to bug me. Why is it so hard for some people to lose weight no matter what they do, yet seemingly so much easier for others? Why do some people, and maybe you can relate to this, seem to have no margin for error when it comes to diet and exercise, while others can get away with eating donuts and hamburgers 3 times a day? I used to chalk it up to good genes, but when I saw people with seemingly amazing genetics begin to struggle as the years went by, I knew that that couldn't be the answer. Let me ask you, have you ever felt like you had to do everything perfectly just to keep your weight even? And if you made one mistake, just one, you'd immediately gain a pound or two? If so, you're not alone, nor is it your fault. Because as I met more and more people who were like that, I could not ignore what seemed to be a glaring hole in the calorie theory of nutrition and weight. Not that there isn't some truth to it, because there is. And you can't expect to eat 10,000 calories and lose weight. But clearly, there is a large group of people who struggle to lose weight no matter how many calories they consume or burn with exercise. And I had to figure out why, which led me to find the research on the 4 zero-calorie foods and the shocking secret behind why they can make you fat. So let's get into them. Food number 1, diet soda. This was unbelievable to me, but researchers in San Antonio, Texas, found that those who drank more diet soda gained more weight over time. It's called the San Antonio Heart Study, and it followed more than 5,000 adults for between 7 and 8 years. Although those people who drank both sugar-sweetened and diet sodas gained weight, diet soda drinkers were more likely to become obese. And the more diet sodas the participants drank, the greater their weight gain. How could that be when sugar-sweetened sodas contain a lot more calories? Keep watching. It will become clear in just a moment, but let's get to the next one. Food number 2, Jell-O, candy, and other zero-calorie sweets. This one was equally as eye-opening. One of the human studies took 17 obese individuals who did not use sweeteners and did not have insulin resistance. On 2 occasions, the subjects came into the lab and either ingested water or sucralose. When the subjects ingested sucralose, you know, the Splenda that you get at the coffee shops, there was a greater increase in peak plasma glucose as well as insulin secretion. I know, big scientific sounding words, I realize, but the thing that you need to know is elevated insulin has been connected with weight gain. So here you have another study where the subjects who ingested zero-calorie substances gained more weight. What gives? So, will one Splenda in your morning coffee or protein shake make you fat and give you diabetes? No, not necessarily, but clearly not all calories are created equal. But I still had to get to the bottom of it, and then I came across another. Food number 3, zero-calorie butter spray. Most spray butters advertise 0 calories, 0 fat, and 0 everything. It's a bit deceptive because, on average, each spray actually contains almost 1 calorie. So these are not truly 0 calorie products. One entire bottle of spray can actually contain between 600 and 1,000 calories, depending upon the brand and size, and 80 to 100 grams of fat. Still, compared to regular oil, it's a lot fewer calories, and yet it contains elements, including additives and emulsifiers, that have been shown to create greater weight gain when compared to regular oils. One study on mice at Georgia State showed these additives actually disrupted metabolism radically, leading to short-term weight gain and long-term obesity. Think about it. The first ingredient in butter sprays is usually watered, followed by oils. Usually soybean oil, buttermilk, thickening agents, preservatives, and flavorings. So even if these butter sprays are not 0 calories, they are low calorie, lower than oils, and yet they trigger more weight gain. The last food on the list is food number 4, coffee. Now, wait just a minute. I'm not saying you have to give up your coffee. Just hear me out. First, not all coffee is created equal. Some varieties are loaded with chemicals, molds, and other issues that undoubtedly play a role in how your body responds to it. But second, and this is the more critical factor, coffee contains caffeine, and all caffeine stimulates cortisol production. While caffeine prompts cortisol production, a 2005 study published in the Journal of Psychosomatic Medicine found that when subjects were exposed to caffeine continuously throughout the day, cortisol levels began to rise again in the afternoon. And guess what? Those with high blood pressure had it even worse. And what does this mean? That high cortisol is a major factor. Now we are getting somewhere. One of the roles of cortisol, known as the stress hormone, is to help facilitate the fight or flight mechanism designed to save us from physical threat. And when the body is stressed, cortisol's job is to up blood pressure and speed carbohydrate and fat metabolism, increasing the amount of blood sugar in the system. This is so they can feed muscles and cells, allowing them to function more effectively when stressed. Cortisol also promotes the release of insulin necessary to facilitate movement of glucose into the cells. This cortisol-induced demand for blood sugar causes us to feel hungry, encourage us to eat more, and despite our best intentions. In other words, elevated cortisol not only makes our metabolism lower, but it also causes hunger and cravings to increase. Talk about a vicious combination. This is why cortisol is really the stubborn fat hormone, because it makes it nearly impossible to lose weight if your levels are high. Of course, the situation is exacerbated if we drink more coffee when we were also under stress, which most of us tend to do. So again, you may not need to give up your coffee, but if you have stress-induced high cortisol, it is almost certainly contributing to stubborn fat that feels impossible to lose. According to a recent Harvard study, this dual problem of elevated stress and high cortisol production represent a silent epidemic that is quietly affecting millions, if not hundreds of millions of people worldwide. And not a single diet on the planet talks about it, let alone addresses it. Oh, and the harder that you try, the worse the problem gets. Stubborn fat becomes even more difficult to lose, sticking like glue to all the trouble areas and turning it into cellulite or sagging. The worst part of all, the advice everyone gives you is just eat less and exercise more, or just eat better, and according to my diet, and exercise that they recommend. The problem is that in most cases, dieting and exercise actually make this cause of weight gain much worse. Again, just as you've seen with the foods I showed you, the whole calories in, calories out model does not work if you suffer from this issue. How do you know if you suffer from stress-induced high cortisol? Well, allow me a chance to ask you a few questions. Do you need coffee to get you going in the morning? Or do you randomly crave salty foods on a daily basis? Do you feel either wired or exhausted throughout the day? Do you crave sugar in the afternoons for energy? Do you get tired after lunch? Do you have an extra 15 to 25 pounds or more around your waist or your thighs? Have you been working harder with no real results? Do you find it difficult to stick to a diet that actually makes you feel good? Do you eat a lot of sugar or drink alcohol on a daily basis? Do you get less than 8 hours of sleep each night? Do you stare at your phone or TV or another screen in the hours before bed? Do you have a hard time falling asleep with your mind racing despite being tired all day? Do you feel stressed or overwhelmed most of the day? Do you not take breaks to meditate or relax and nap and haven't done so for years? If you answer yes to 3 or more of those questions, chances are you have a stubborn fat hormone problem that will continue causing weight gain and that no diet can ever fix. You can't see this problem. You can barely feel it except for the fatigue, fat, and frustration of trying everything and nothing working. Plus, your hormones get kicked out of balance, your metabolism slows, and it becomes even harder to lose weight. If anything, you continually gain weight year after year, even when you feel like you're doing all the right things. Sound unfair? Well, it is! And I'm sick of everyone telling you to just try harder, push more, and be disciplined, or deprive yourself of all the things that you love. I had so many clients who would work out twice a day, eat the perfect, boring diet, and spend hundreds of dollars each month on supplements, and miss out on all the fun around them. The sacrifice never leads to the promised results. In fact, each time they looked in the mirror, things seemed to be getting worse. It wasn't feasible or sustainable at all, and they got tired of being told they were failures because they couldn't do the impossible. Worst of all, most of them weren't just gaining weight, they felt exhausted and were aging their bodies at a rapid rate. Once they couldn't force themselves to push through as they had before, things got really bad. Further weight gain, fatigue. Some reached states that seemed like clinical depression. Their joints hurt, their skin got dry and tired and wrinkled. They felt wired but tired all the time. After learning about cortisol, I knew I was onto something, but I wanted answers. I realized there must be a way to get these levels down so that those who struggled with stubborn fat would be on a level playing field. Then one day, I landed on a video by a wellness coach interviewing a highly sought-after functional medicine doctor in San Francisco. They were talking about the relationship between overused adrenal glands, our primary fight or flight organs that respond to stress, cortisol, inflammation, and stubborn fat. They were discussing every single symptom I saw in my toughest client cases, where the individual would literally do everything right and still not lose weight. And it turns out, this functional medicine doctor had also been the protege of famous Harvard doctor hormone specialist Dr. Sarah Gottfried. And they were way ahead of their curve. It all made so much sense. I started putting my hardest weight loss clients on a new protocol along some of their guidelines, a protocol unlike anything else I'd heard, literally the opposite of what I had been told before. Instead of working more and harder, I had them rest more and nap or meditate every day. Sleep my way to skinny, they would ask me? This was a dream. Instead of dieting, they were not to deprive themselves, eat more of their favorite foods because, again, dieting is stressful, and stress increases cortisol. It was just a matter of eating in certain windows, with certain food combinations that burn fat so effectively, it was almost too good to be true. But it was true, and it worked. They began releasing weight effortlessly. They felt calmer, and they could think clearer and had more energy. They finally had a system. They had a plan. They had an explanation. And they stopped fearing their next craving and crash. They stopped beating themselves up for not being able to push through. And losing weight before social events wasn't a source of shame and dread. They couldn't believe it. But the hardest part was giving themselves permission. Permission to rest when all other messages said to them to push themselves harder and longer. Permission to accept that everything they'd learned and been doing for years was actually dead wrong. This was especially hard for someone like me that had been a professional athlete and trained nearly all day long. And when you're maxed out, too much dieting and exercise have the opposite effect. It puts your body further into emergency mode, and levels of your stubborn fat hormone, cortisol, literally shoot up further. Remember the questions I asked you earlier about caffeine to get along, trouble sleeping, sugar cravings, stubborn fat you can't explain? Well, if you experience any of that, the odds are you have high cortisol inflammation, tired adrenals, and stubborn fat that won't go away. And nothing you do will work until you fix this issue. The good news is there is hope. Getting over this and off the hamster wheel isn't as hard as you might think, but you'll have to make a few tweaks I'm going to share with you in just a moment. Make no mistake, this problem will either get worse or get better depending upon what you do now. That's because to create cortisol, your body uses protein, amino acids, vitamin B, and other critical nutrients. These same building blocks that are used to create cortisol would be used to create sex drive testosterone, soothing progesterone, or happy brain chemicals serotonin and dopamine. Keeping the cortisol high is like running the kitchen faucet knowing there won't be enough water to get to the lawn hose. And we must interrupt the cortisol spikes that steal these important building blocks. High stress also harms your stomach's ability to absorb nutrient building blocks. So even if you're eating extra protein and vitamins, you may not be absorbing them. Any toxic damage to the lining of the gut does two bad things. One, toxins escape into the bloodstream when they belong to the protected stomach. And two, nutrients don't get absorbed into the gut lining as they should. And that's why one of the best things you can do for yourself is to take a daily nap. Even if you work and you only have an hour for lunch, squeezing in 15 to 20 minutes before or after lunch will work wonders for your cortisol levels. Because napping and additional sleep have been shown in a wide range of studies to have cortisol lowering benefits. Another option is to do a quick meditation using audio or app, as tons of research is now emerging about the stress-lowering properties of meditation, which will have a direct impact on cortisol production. Doing these things will get you feeling calmer, prioritizing clearer, and resetting your body's fat-burning furnace. Still, if you have a lifetime or years of high cortisol buildup and the inflammation and other issues that come with it, a simple nap or meditation may not be enough. You need to get off the diet and exercise roller coaster and get back to living in a way that brings your levels down to a range where your body can burn fat like you were when you were a kid. Over the years, in working with doctors like the one I told you about earlier, and using myself and clients as guinea pigs, I was able to figure out a solution, a way to relax your body lean and free your fat from the high cortisol prison. That's why I'm thrilled to introduce to you what I call Free the Fat System. The one program with everything you need to reverse high levels of stubborn fat hormone, boost your metabolism, and get your dream body back in record time. It's worked for my clients and me, and you can see some of their pictures right here. Remember, high cortisol doesn't just contribute to weight gain, it contributes to the fat that gets stored primarily around the midsection and belly, the worst, unhealthiest kind of fat. But as you can see with the individuals on the screen right now, this is exactly the type of fat that they tend to lose quickest. And while I can't make specific claims about you being able to spot reduce fat in troubled areas, I do know that handling your cortisol gives you the best possible chance at returning your body to its ideal state. Here's what you'll get in the Free the Fat system that I'm giving you access to today. The Free the Fat protocol and manual. This is the exact series of steps that you need to beat stress, eliminate high cortisol, and begin reversing the formation of stubborn fat once and for all. It's based on a protocol that doctors charge $1,000 and more to walk you through, and has been proven over and over with real people to help turn back the clock on stress, feel more energized, heal your adrenals, and reignite your metabolism. You'll discover the 10 best foods to fight inflammation and how to integrate them into delicious daily meals, the 5 foods to never eat. These produce a massive stress response in your body. How to know your approximate cortisol level even if you don't have the money or access to test. Secrets for uncovering hidden sources of stress, and these are the things that you might be affecting you 10 times more than any conscious stress source. An exact step-by-step plan for relaxing and melting away stress levels, even if you're anxious, a type A person who can barely sit still. Another, sleep secrets nobody tells you about, which dramatically impact all your weight loss hormones, including cortisol. The best and worst ways to exercise, and why nearly everyone gets this wrong, leading to slower metabolism over time. And way more than I can even list here. This manual contains everything you need to reduce stress, reset your adrenals, multiply your body's internal furnace, and accelerate your results. What's the price for this manual? Well, initially, one of the doctors we work with insisted we charge at least $500 because she doesn't see patients for less than $1,000. But obviously, $500 is too much for many people, and the last thing that we want to do is add more stress to your life. We thought $197 was more reasonable. But even then, we realized this is too vital of a process to far too many people to limit how many can buy it. Even $97 might be a barrier for some people. So ultimately, to the dismay of our doctor partners, we're releasing this manual with its proven protocol for almost 40% less. Just $47. But that's not all. You'll also get the Free the Fat recipe book to support your recovery and restore your metabolism and hormones. It's filled with delicious, savory, inflammatory-free recipes that your body will love. You'll get quick and easy ways to prepare main dishes, salads, appetizers, desserts, drinks, snacks, shakes, and more. This is nothing like your typical diet. Imagine being able to eat liberal amounts of your favorite foods. Savory items that include steak, tacos, wraps, sandwiches, even pizza and pasta with a few tricks that turn them into fat-burning fuel. Again, if you feel like you're on a diet, you'll be stressed. And stress makes you fat. So rest assured, this eating plan has everything you need to keep both your mind, body, and emotions fully satisfied. This is a $47 value, and you get it free. And you'll also get the Free the Fat cheat sheet. This is a powerful tool that makes it easy to know what to do each day to ensure you're moving in the right direction. This is not a rigid set of rules, but rather a flexible choose-your-own-adventure map filled with tips on one single page that will make doing the right thing a breeze every single day. Once you have this in your arsenal, you can take it with you wherever you go, restoring your metabolism and fat burning to peak levels. And you'll also get Free the Fat shopping list. All the foods you need to stock to optimize and accelerate your results, a $27 value, free. You'll learn what to shop for, what to avoid, and how to ensure that you always have delicious, easy to munch on foods that help keep cortisol levels low and your metabolism maxed out. A Free the Fat morning ritual magic. This is a simple blueprint which helps you personalize and perfect first 5 things you must do each morning to get your day started stress-free. Because we've all had the experience of starting the morning stressed out and seeing how it continues throughout the day. Nail your morning ritual, and this will do it for you, and you'll never have that problem again. It's a $27 value, and again, you get it free as part of the system. Free the Fat supplement spreadsheet. Because even though you can make amazing progress without a single supplement, this can be a way to speed up your results. And when you have tired adrenals, high cortisol, and inflammation, what supplements you need to take is radically different than what you were normally told. This guide features the top 10 supplements, science, and lowest price sources and select coupons, which could easily save you hundreds of dollars this year alone. It's another $97 value, yours absolutely free. Many of this play a direct role in your mood, which is essential to your success. And speaking of mood, you'll also get the Free the Fat Mood Miracle Makeover. This could be an entire product on its own. It's essentially a guide on how to reverse the mental effects and issues that come with high cortisol so that you don't make poor choices or lose inspiration and motivation because of your brain being depleted. With how this guide helps you restore your mind and mood, you'll feel fresher, more alert, positive, and even optimistic. You'll get tips for eating healthy, affirmations on how to be better, rituals you can use anytime negative thoughts arise, simply tricks to flip just about any Debbie Downer moment into a positive and uplifting state. With it, you'll also get a guided meditation MP3s that will sit on your phone and help you beat stress anytime you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, or just wanted to relax and unwind. Each contains soothing music and narration that guides you to deeper states of relaxation and bliss. You'll even get simple yoga moves you can do at home, the office, or the car to even feel better almost immediately. All in all, when you consider the conservative value of the manual and protocol, that's $519 in value. Yet you only pay $37. That's like getting nearly 90% off. If you use just this over the next 2 months, it's $1.12 per day for a process that will restore your health, energy, correct your hormones, and reignite your metabolism. And you won't just use it for a day, I guarantee it. This will transform how you look, feel, exercise, and eat for the rest of your life, which means it's really just pennies per day. Think about the other options. A recent report claims that the average dieter will spend an extra $200,000 over the course of his or her lifetime on the process. And in North America, the obesity market alone should swell to over $140 billion in 2017, including money spent on surgical procedures to shrink stomachs or vacuum away fat. But that's nothing compared to the market for diseases, which drive drug sales and treatments more than $1 trillion. And remember, stress is one of the leading causes of disease. And now you see the link with adrenals, obesity, and stubborn fat. Scary stuff, but not for you or your family. Not anymore. Because sitting before you is a proven system for lowering the stubborn fat hormone that you need to thrive and never be dependent on these solutions. If you're like most Americans, you literally throw away pennies. Now, for just pennies each day, you have a chance to end the nightmare of dieting, stress, and misery. And avoid spending a fortune on things you may inevitably feel you need because this problem continues to haunt you beneath the surface. But hey, I know you probably have been excited about a solution before, and it may even seem like it was working for a little while, and then ultimately fell short of your expectations. Hopefully, you now understand the science behind why every diet and exercise program has failed you, and how Free the Fat unblocks you from the number one thing holding your body back. Still, I want you to feel even more confident about taking this journey with me. So I'm going to offer you my unconditional guarantee for 60 full days. Go ahead, try out Free the Fat System for 2 full months. You must be blown away by the results you experience, the reduction in stress, the relaxation, the improved mental performance, the deeper sense of well-being, the accelerated metabolism, and more, or you pay nothing. In the highly unlikely event you're not blown away, just say the word, and you'll get every penny back, no questions asked. Bottom line, you know what has been holding you back all this time. The only question is, what will you do about it? You've just been given the golden key to everything you've ever wanted. No dieting, more sleeping in, more spa days, shorter gym sessions. You now understand why all diets and workout programs are doomed to fail. You see just how grave stress and high cortisol problems are, including the science of how it ruins your hormones, slows your metabolism, drops your energy, and makes it impossible to shred stubborn fat. You'll also see that unless you first get this under control, you'll continue to bounce from diet to diet, workout to workout, probably making things worse. Yet, you also get some good news, because as impossible as it may seem, correcting this stubborn fat hormone is easier than you think. You just need the right protocol and support. That's what Free the Fat gives you, and it's the only complete at-home solution for eliminating the horrors of high stress, transforming your health, removing fatigue, and getting you the body you deserve. But instead of paying doctors thousands like some do, which is a steal compared to what people spend on diet, fitness, and prescription medications, you pay the modest introductory price for the entire $519 package, which comes to $1.12 for the first 60 days and pennies per day over the course of the year. And I am sure you will. Oh, and I almost forgot. I have 2 more bonuses for you. Join me today, and I'll also give you our Free the Fat Low Sugar Dessert Recipe Book. This is filled with savory, mouth-watering desserts that are drop-dead simple to prepare, are low in sugar and yet taste as good or better than the real thing. You can give these to anyone, even kids, and they'll never know that they're not loaded with sweeteners. Which means you get to satisfy your sweet tooth and continue freeing your fat at the maximum possible rate. And you'll also get my top 10 body shaping moves. Remember, I've been a trainer since I was in college, and I know how to help people reshape their bodies without spending hours in the gym. There's no need to exhaust your body and increase your stress, which has the opposite effect that you're seeking. When you can do these simple moves, you get the exact body you want. This guide makes it easy, allowing you to tone and reshape your body pretty much anywhere, anytime. Again, my gift to you when you take action today and invest in the Free the Fat system. Bottom line, you've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. So let's move forward together. Let me personally help you get off the roller coaster once and for all. Let me guide you like I have so many of my clients over the years. Let's take this journey, you and me. You can easily, effortlessly do it. Nothing else is needed. Simply click below this video to get instant access to the entire program, including all of the bonuses. I'll see you inside the program, and I can't wait for you to be our next amazing success story. This is Brandon, signing off and looking forward to working with you as part of this breakthrough program.